Those little those little dogs are such a hoot. All right, there we go. Welcome everyone. Those little dogs are great, and their names, of course, are Adam and Eve. Too much.
What are the names?
Adam and
And
Eve.
Eve. Oh my
Yeah, I thought that
goodness.
was funny when I found that out. Like, okay, Adam and Eve. You can't get too mad at them, I guess, right? So I guess any requests for today? Anything that's hurting or not hurting, or I know you probably want a headstand.
Are you doing headstand? Oh my
It's
goodness.
known to do a headstand from here
Oh
to
my
there,
goodness.
but you know, maybe we'll put an inversion like a 2-0 intervention, so you don't have to do it. You can do something a little bit less high impact. So let's find a comfy seat, however it is. Doesn't matter how you're sitting. Legs can be out in front of you, or soles of the feet together like this, or cross-legged, whatever is comfortable. And we're just going to do a couple rounds of Prana Mudra to bring us into this space. So what that looks like is I'm going to inhale my arms out wide enough and lean forward a little bit. And then I'm going to exhale and push my hands down in front of me and lean back. That's great. That's perfect. So we'll do it a couple more times. Inhaling up and exhaling, pushing down. One last time. Inhaling up. Exhaling, pushing down. And then when your hands come down, you can just put them on your knees. And we're just going to start doing little circles with our spine. We're going to do the gentle warm up here. We'll do this again when we're on hands and knees in a second. But I figure it's been a while for all of us. So we might as well warm ourselves up gently. So as you do this, you can time this with breathing if you like. If you come forward, you inhale, the belly expands. As you come back, exhale, and the belly contracts. So inhaling forward, exhaling back. That's one option. You don't have to do that. Inhale, up there you and exhaling. And then next time you come forward, let's switch directions and go the other way. So exhaling back, inhaling forward, and exhaling. You might start to feel a little bit of popping and cracking in the spine. I just came from gardening, so this feels about right. Warming up the spine. And then when you're ready, you come back to the center. And I'm going to get us in the hands and knees for a bit. So we can do the same kind of motion, but in a way that's a little easier on the hips. So now keep an eye on those cues. We got people that lose cues around. So just find a comfortable hands and knees position. The knees are right under the hips here, so the knees are about hip width distance. The hands are right under the shoulders, about shoulder width distance apart. We're gonna inhale and bring the belly towards the ground. Tail comes up, head comes up. Exhale and lift through the belly, tuck the tail, tuck the tail. And we'll just continue inhaling, tail up, head up. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tail, lift the head. So similar to what we were doing before. Inhaling, head up, tail up. You forgot your mat.
You didn't bring
He's having a day. It's okay. So when you're ready, we'll just come back to center and let's do that same thing, but this time we're gonna bring like a circular motion, kind of like what we were doing seated. So this time I'm gonna inhale and bring my ribs to the side and then up. I'm doing the breathing wrong. Inhale the belly down. Exhale the ribs to the right and up. Inhale the ribs to the left and down. Exhale the ribs to the right and up. Inhale the ribs to the left and down. And we're just going to continue that sort of jump roping with the spine. Really take this at your own pace and allow yourself, space to explore what this movement feels like. There's no right or wrong way to do this. If you want to bend your elbows as you come around, that's fine. If you want to try different breathing patterns, that's fine. Yeah, I can hear you when they're beautiful.
Maybe I should go back and get a mat.
Use mine. We'll take Next time your belly comes to center, let's switch directions. So this time I'm going to exhale my ribs to the left and up. Inhale my ribs to the right and down. We'll go to the left and up on the exhale, to the right and down. And then next time your ribs come towards the center, we'll just even out here. And I just want to look over my right shoulder towards my right hip for a second. Oh, whoa. Not very modest today. And then we'll come back to center. And then you can look over your left shoulder towards your left hip. So we're just going to continue that. And you can find it with your breathing. So inhaling, coming to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder towards your left hip. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Last time, inhale back to center. Exhale, look over your left shoulder towards your left hip. And then from here, let's just walk our hands forward about 1 hand length or so. Bend the elbows. So I'm coming onto elbows and knees now instead of hands and knees. And at this point, let's tuck our chins and just rest the crown of the head on the mat for just a second. So this is called rabbit pose, and it's a nice stretch to the back of the neck. And then if you feel comfortable in this and you want to go a little further and your shoulder rotator cuffs are feeling really open and uninjured, you can bring your head back up, walk the hands forward, another hand width, coming down in playful puppy. The heart is melting. And then when you're ready, we'll just push these our hands to come back up and hands to knees. So also the elbows. This time I'm going to tuck my toes here and just lift up the hips, coming into a real downward facing dog. So as you can see, my knees are real bent here. And I'm just going to cuddle one heel down and then the other, stretching out the back of the leg. Feel free to breathe deeply here. Inhaling deeply, exhaling. And then when you're ready, bent knees, just slowly walk your feet up towards your hands. This is my sneaky way of getting us to stand up. And before we roll up to standing, let's just bend the knees some more and lean forward over the knees for a deep forward fold here. If you want to experiment with straightening the legs but keeping the hands on the ground, feel free. I find for me sometimes walking my hands forward a little bit helps get into a deeper footway forward. And then when you're ready, with bent knees, feel free to gently roll yourself up to standing, like your fiddlehead turn, unfurling, like your cicada busting out of its shell. I know, that's quite a metaphor, huh? Very regional metaphor. And we'll just come to standing, comfortable stance. Feet are a little bit wider than mat. So here, you can share my mat with you. I gotta do hip rolls. How nice. 2 yogis on one mat. It's like a bicycle built for two. So hands, except it's a mat built for one. So hands on the hips. We're just gonna start rolling the hips a bit and kind of working out any tightness in the hips that may have resulted from squatting in the garden for 75 minutes before yoga. Could happen. We came back and our garden exploded. It's very exciting.
When you're not around.
Round cherries for you. So really feel free to explore the range of motion here. You can do little circles if you want, or really big circles. You can bend the knees if you want. Hello. Got a little yogi today. That's not fun. Not to say it's bouncing. It's fun. And then when you're ready, we'll just switch directions and go the other way. We get a little looseness on both sides. You want to teach something? You want to teach a yoga posture? Figure eights, maybe.
Yeah, sure. We can do some figure
Or
eights.
small hip rolls. I just feel like the hips need some.
Yeah. No, let's do figure eights. So figure eights. We'll come back to stillness. And you can keep your feet right where they are. And we're gonna do figure eights with the hips. So it's like you take one hip, bring it forward and then back, and then the other hip comes forward and back. So just making figure eights with our hips. Hello.
I get it. It's hard to even look at us do this because it's just so good. So this is a nice kind of smooth motion for me. I bend one knee and then bend the other, and that kind of helps me with this. But if you feel like putting your hands on your shoulders and getting your hands and your arms involved in this, one sort of elbow goes up as the knee bends. So it's kind of awkward and complicated way to describe it. But it appears that you guys are getting the idea. It's like I'm letting my shoulder girdle kind of get similar movement in my hip girdle. Is the hip a girdle? I guess not. And my hip bowl, the bowl of my hip bones is like back and forth. And then let's just shake it out. Sometimes all that figure eighting can get me kind of up in my head. And we'll do the other side.
So the other side, we're just doing the opposite thing. So now we let's start with the left hip and you take it back, you then swing it forward, and then the right hip is back, and then that comes forward. So same thing, figure eights, just we're drawing them in the opposite direction than we drew them before.
And again, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It's already 2 sides. A little awkward for me. You can put your hands on your shoulders again. And this time, it's kind of like you're drawing your chicken wings forward here. As you do. More terrible metaphor. Queen of the bad yoga metaphor. I swear there's going to be a class one day. Bad metaphor. All right. And then when you're ready, we'll just shake it all off again. Come back there. Oh, you gave me an idea. I have an idea. Let's twist. So we're kind of shaking and we're kind of twisting. I mean, I feel like bouncing and twisting go really well together anyway. And you could start off with just plain old bouncing. But, you know, if you start kind of twisting the upper body side to side and letting your hands hit against the shoulders, all the better. And we'll just do this for a little while because it is really good for you. For yogis of all ages, this is a good one. Then you want to take it to the formalized twist?
Formalized twist. So what happens is we stop the bouncing. Now we're just gonna twist side to side, but try to leave your hips, facing forward so that most of the twist is coming from the upper body.
And you might prefer a nice wide stance, like feet maybe 2 feet apart or so, because that'll give you a bit more balancing room.
Mm-hmm. And you let the hands, they can just sort of flap the back. Eventually, you get build up a little momentum. The hands might start to work their way up the body. When they get to about chest height, we're going to pull the elbows back and take the hands, the palms out flat like we're skimming water at chest height. We're going to add a breathing exercise into this. So we twist to the right, we inhale, and we exhale. As we go to the left, we exhale with a shh. So it's like this.
Your elbows are kind of what's delivering the momentum here. So I feel like as I turn to each side, the elbow on that side is kind of drawing me back. But as I do this, I do want to keep my hips mostly straight forward. So the turn's really coming from the upper body.
Continuing that breathing, let's turn the forearms up, face the palm at the head. So we've got these goalpost arms now. And keep breathing that same way though. Inhaling to the right, exhaling with a shh to the left. continuing that breathing. We're going to take the arms out and down at about waist height. Like you're manually turning a hula hoop. Love that one. That's a good yoga metaphor. And then we're just going to slowly work our way back to center.
And maybe you could bounce.
You can bounce a little bit when you get there, or when you get there, and kind of shake it out, flap it out. I don't know what you did before I got here, so.
No, that was the first one.
We did everything.
What do you? Yeah, we did all the hard stuff. We did finger stand. Where you just stand on two fingers. Let's keep our feet nice and wide. Like maybe about 3 feet apart for smaller legs,
twist.
maybe about 2 feet apart. We're gonna bend the knees and bring the knees kind of like right over the feet. So my feet are at like a 45-degree angle. That was great, Marcia. Great, that was great, fantastic. Right? So then palms of the hands come right down on the knees here, and I'll show you from the side. Brian will show you from the front. I'm gonna stick my tail out, but I'm gonna tuck my tail and keep my spine nice and long here. And inhaling here in the center, I'm gonna exhale and twist to one side. Inhaling back to center, exhale, twist to the other side. And feel free to take your time doing this and really explore the motion. You don't have to go really deep, but just make sure that as you come up, you're inhaling, as you twist, you're exhaling, you're pushing all that air out. So inhaling, filling up with air, exhale, twist, push the air out. And if you want to go fast, that's fine too. You want to chop wood?
Yeah.
You be the wood chopper.
All right. So the next time you exhale, let's just come to the center. You can let the upper body hang down. You can turn the feet a little bit so they're more like facing in front of you than out to the side. So it's more like this. We're going to let the upper body hang down. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're going to inhale, coming up. Arms come up overhead. Maybe the hips even come a little forward. And then we're going to exhale with a ha as we come down. We'll do that a few times. Feel free to go as fast as you want or as slow as you need to. Whoa, I'm getting out of balance. Ha. 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 Ha.
You're splitting that log.
Ha.
It's a lot harder than you thought. You gotta really work on it.
It's harder with logs.
Ha. What's that?
I said it's harder with logs and axes.
And next time you exhale, just fold forward again. We can bring the hands to the ground. This time we're actually gonna walk the feet out just a little bit wider here. So my feet are good, maybe 4 feet apart. And my hands are right in front of me. And as you can see, yep, you got it. That's perfect, Steve. As you see, my spine is mostly straight here. I'm gonna push the palm of my left hand right under my face. So right in the middle here. And I'm gonna inhale the right arm up towards the sky.
And you can even try looking up at your hand if that's available to you.
If you're curious to see if your hips feel even, you can put the palm of that right hand right on the top of the hips here. This is called the sacrum. And just make sure that they're not going off to one side or the other.
Can you bend one knee?
Sure, if you want to. If it makes it more comfortable, definitely.
You can even bend both knees a little bit.
Yes, bending both knees is totally allowed.
Especially if you're prone to locking your knees or hyperextending your joints or anything like that. Always feel free to keep a little like softness, a little bend in the knees and elbows.
And then when you're ready, we'll bring that right hand down to replace the left hand. So switching hands now, we'll inhale the left arm up towards the sky. If you want to bend one here or the other, that's fine. Feel free to take that left hand down to the sacrum and see if everything feels even here. Bring that left hand down to meet the right. This is a little bit tricky, but we'll give it a try. You can bend both knees if you like. I'm going to bring both hands to my hips here. And I'm going to inhale myself up to standing. And then from here, we'll bring the feet back together. Maybe about, what's your foot apart? We'll come back down soon. Okay. It's coming. Hips width distance apart. I get it. I'm a little rusty today too, actually. So I'll take it easy on us. So when you're ready, we'll take the arms out into a T, and we're just gonna stretch the sides of the body for a minute. So we'll inhale and come over to one side. Exhale, come back up to stand. Inhale, come to the other side. Exhale, back up to stand, and they call it swaying palm tree. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. A few more times. Inhaling, exhaling, inhale, exhale. What do you want to do next?
I don't know.
What do you want to do, Brian? Inhaling. I know what we want to do.
What do we
We're
want
gonna
to do?
come down.
Come down already.
Yep.
No arm stuff, hand stuff. You do any of that?
We can do that from the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's take it easy today. It's just humid today. So if you want to just come down and see that you can, or if you want to do a fancy thing, you can come down through a squat. So my feet are about match width distance, give or take, and they're pointed out just a little. I'm gonna inhale my arms up high above me, and then exhaling, I'm gonna come right down into a yoga squat. If you're practicing at home and you've got a block or something like that you want to sit on, feel free. Otherwise, we're just gonna hang out here for a second. Make sure to keep your heart open in the squat. So none of this golem squat, but a nice open wide squat. And then
As
when
best
you're
as you
ready,
can.
as best you can.
can.
It's not the easiest thing in the world. I get it. When you're ready, hands can come down, and we'll just sit right back onto the ground for abdominal strengthening. So you thought it was gonna be easy now, huh?
All right, I'll get off the mat.
You could.
I'm
yeah,
good.
you're
I'm good. I can work here.
All
I
right,
can work
so
on the ground.
we have a few
I
options
forgot my
for
mat.
abdominal. Everything got forgotten today. We have a few options for abdominal strength tonight, so I think we'll start us off with both. So both, there are a few different ways to get into this. The main thing is, if you can see my back here, I want to keep it nice and long. So I'm not going to go like this at any point. I really want to keep my back long. So I'm going to start off with my toes on the mat, hands either on top of the knees or right underneath. And this is just a nice form. If you want to keep it here, totally fine. If you want to lift the calves, and you can still keep the hands under the legs here, that does give you a nice bit of support. That's great. Brian's going to show the next stuff because he's a lot stronger than me.
She says that, but I'm falling down on a lump or something here.
You'll
So,
find
but
a
here you
spot.
go. Now I'm in the crevice. Now
So
I
what
got some
comes next?
support. So if you want to take it a little further, you can take your hands away from the legs and just engage the core. And if you want to take it even further still, you can try to straighten the legs. Oh, that's something, right?
It's not easy. But what's even harder is what we're going to do to come out of this. We're going to come into canoe, another form of boat, but a lot lower here. So I'm
Almost
really just
touching,
supporting
but
myself
not.
with my rectus abdominis here.
It's okay to shake. I'm shaking.
And right when you think you can't stand it, come on back up to boat. So if you want to put the feet down here, totally fine. You get yourself all set up and straightened up and fancy looking. Legs can come up. If you want to go further, arms come out. If you want to go further, legs get strengthened, muscles shake, the works. Slowly come down the canoe. And then when you think you can't stand it anymore, we'll come back up the boat. I promise this is the last time. So here we are, toes on the mat, just, getting our nice form. Very nice, very nice. And then legs come up, hands come out, legs straight. If you want, you don't have to. We come on down to canoe. And this time, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And down. So you can collapse. And we'll just lay here for a second. Feel free to rub on your belly a little bit. Apologize to it for the surprise hassle it just had to deal with. And then we'll draw both knees in towards the chest and just rock side to side for just a second. We still have a little bit of core stuff, but it's not as extreme as that. So from here, come to center and stillness whenever you like. And again, you can hold your hands under your knees like this. I'm going to bring my legs into two uh, right angles. So basically, there's a right angle at my hips and there's a right angle at my knees. I'm drawing my knees together. From here, I'm going to start drawing little circles with my toes. If you prefer to keep your hands down, you can rest them on your belly or on the ground. If you want more of an abdominal strengthener, let the knees come as close together as possible. If you want less, you can let the knees come out a little bit. That's fine. And then when you're ready, we'll switch the direction of the rotation. So we'll start drawing little circles with our toes the other way. Breathing deep. In my case, catching my breath, letting my breathing come back to relaxed and not choppy. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the knees into the chest. And again, rock side to side for just a second.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna bring our legs right back out to this sort of L shape here.
And you can continue to hold behind the knees if you
Yes, you
like.
can hold behind the knees if you want. You can press the knees together as much as is comfortable for you. And we're gonna take both feet together, and this is gonna look like we're drawing an O in the air with our feet.
So instead of drawing the circle with your toes now, you're using your whole foot.
Your whole both feet.
Whole foot marker.
And then we're gonna switch the direction that we're drawing that circle. So make sure you got it in both directions. Oh.
You know, the funny thing is, even though this strengthens the abdomen, I really feel this on my quads or on my thigh muscles as well.
All right.
Maybe we give them a grip.
Let's fold the knees into the chest and just we can do a little bit of rocking side to side here. Just rock it out, roll it out.
And then we'll do one more thing to strengthen the abdomen, and then we'll get right into hip openers. So this last abdominal strengthener is to rotate the hip joint. So basically what we're doing here, if you want to make it more of an abdominal strengthener, you can lift your head, interlace the fingers of both hands, and rest the back of your head in your hands, but really use the upper abdomen to lift the head. Don't use your hands or your neck to pull your head up. If you prefer to rest your head on the ground for this, that's totally fine too. It's a perfectly great option. So from here, I'm going to draw my bent knees in towards my chest and then open my knees out to the side, bring them down, and then they meet each other. So I'm drawing circles with my knees, and they're kind of mirroring down the center line of my body. It's like I'm drawing circles on the sky with my knees. We'll do a few of those in one direction. Very nice. It's great. And then when you're ready, next time your knees come in the center, this time keep the knees together and bring them down away from your hips and then out and open to the sides and then up and in together again. So we switch directions. And then next time your knees come up, feel free to leave them there. And we're going to take our arms out into a T, bring the soles of the feet right down onto the ground here. So my knees are pointing straight up towards the sky. And I'm just going to let my knees rock side to side just for a second.
No. I have no idea.
All right, that's fine. We'll figure it out. I do have one thing I want to do before we touch the sun. So next time your knees come up towards center, feel free to straighten out. Well, actually, no. Let's keep our left knee bent, and then let's bring the right knee in towards the chest. You can interlace the fingers of both hands and draw that right knee right towards the center of the chest here. And if this feels comfortable for you, you can actually straighten out the left leg down the mat. So we're getting a nice stretch for, I'd say this is kind of for the left psoas muscle, or that muscle kind of in the front of your left leg, like near the hip. If your leg is straight, if your knee is bent, then you're just getting a nice stretch for the right hamstring. That's the back of the right thigh as you draw that knee in towards the center of your chest here. And then if you want to take that knee, that right knee towards the right armpit, towards the right shoulder. So we're kind of opening out the right hip now a little bit. If you're feeling real flexible, you can even take the outside of that right foot in your right hand here and do a sort of half happy baby. So the sole of my right foot is standing on the sky. I'm drawing my right knee towards the ground here. And then, if you like, you bring the right knee back into both hands. And this time, let's take the right hand straight out from the right shoulder. We'll take the left hand around the outside of the right knee. And we're going to just lift that right hip, turning that right knee all the way over to the left. So we're doing a spinal twist on the ground now. If you feel like your right shoulder is popping way up off the ground, first off, feel free to lift the right knee. It's okay if your right foot is resting on the ground and the right knee is up a bit. And then feel free to push down with your left elbow, sort of to lift your left shoulder, and then bring the right shoulder and the left shoulder back to the ground. You can look over your right shoulder here for the full spinal twist. And feel free to let that right foot fall on the ground here. That's okay. And then when you're ready, we'll just come back to lying on our backs, legs straight down from our hips, arms straight down from our shoulders, and just turn the toes in and out, in and out, in and out. You can turn the palms face up, face down, face up, face down. So we're kind of just loosening up through the hips, loosening up through the shoulders. And if you feel comfortable and safe doing this, if your neck feels okay to do this, you can gently turn your head left and right, left and right. And then we'll do the other side. So again, let's start with both feet flat on the ground here. And I'm going to bring my left knee into my chest this time. I'm going to interlace the fingers of both hands around the bottom of my left knee. And it's up to you. If you feel comfortable here, you can straighten out that right leg. So then we'll draw that left knee in towards the center of the chest first. It might feel a little bit awkward bringing it towards the center. It doesn't have to be right at the center, kind of over my heart. And then when you're ready, we'll open that left leg out towards the left shoulder, towards the left armpit. So we still got the left knee bent here. Right leg is straight. If you have a little bit of extra, you can bring the sole of the left foot to stand on the sky and bring the outside of the left, or you can bring the left palm to the outside of the left foot. So for half happy baby there. So deep, deep stretch. I can feel my left knee coming towards the ground on my left side. This is perfect weather for this. And then when you're ready, we'll interlace the fingers of both hands again around the front of the left knee. So bringing the left knee back in front of our chest again. This time, let's keep the right hand holding the left knee here. I'm going to take the left arm straight out from my left shoulder. And I'm going to draw that left knee towards the right, maybe even letting my left foot rest on the ground. Then if my left shoulder is really popping up, I'm going to push down with my right elbow to lift my right shoulder, bring it back down to the ground, and bring my left shoulder back down to the ground. And then I'm going to look over my left shoulder to complete this final twist. Oh, hooray. Oh, it's Pluto! He got so big! Hi, Pluto! Oh, he's such a cutie. He got really big. All of a sudden, Pluto grew up. So when you're ready, we'll come back onto our backs again. Feel free to let the toes turn in and out, in and out, in and out. Palms can turn, palm face up, palm face down, palm face up, palm face down. Head can turn side to side, just real gently, loosening up through the hips, shoulders, and neck. And then, Brian, I threatened to choose your own adventure inversion earlier. Let me check the time for that, but I think we have plenty of time for it. So if you want to show half shoulder stand, and I'll talk through headstand.
Sure.
All right, let me see what time it is. Oh, this phone doesn't even tell me. How do you find out? Oh,
36.
oh, perfect. We got loads
wow,
of
we got
time.
tons
This
of
is
time.
great. Fantastic. Thank you. All right, so
So
the
let's-
choose your own adventure inversion. Although I guess we have plenty of time beforehand. So maybe why don't we come up into seated and we'll do a few hip openers and then the choose.
Yeah.
Since we have so much time. So we'll start off with staff posture, which is pretty basic. It's not a super duper challenging hip opener because the hips are actually closed. So it's a hamstring opener. So I have real tight hamstrings. Those are the muscles behind the thighs here. So I'm going to keep my knees bent for this. If your hamstrings are real loose and it's very easy for you to touch your toes, you can straighten out the legs. Either way, we'll inhale our arms up high above us, and then on the exhale, fold forward from the belly first. It's like my belly is going for my thighs here, and then my arms are lengthening towards my toes or just outside of the legs, either way. And then you can experiment with straightening one leg, maybe straightening the other. But really the main thing here is keeping the spine. You can bring your arms down to rest on the legs. There you go, it's a lot more comfortable. Keeping the spine as straight as possible as you come forward. If you find with your legs straight that you can only come forward like this, and it starts to get real loopy and candy cane looking in my back, that's where I want to bend my knees and then bring myself forward here. If you're practicing with a strap, you would put the strap around the feet and then draw the elbows back. But we're not doing the whole strap thing today. That's waiting for Cahill. And then when you're ready, we'll come up. Brian's going to start down each Shasana.
So what we want to do is let's start with our right leg. We'll bend the right leg, bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. We're going to take the upper body and just turn it just slightly so that it's, over top of, in front of the outstretched left leg. So with a straight back, we're going to inhale our arms up overhead. Let's relax those shoulders down before we bend. Plug those arms into place. Maybe even bring the chest forward a little bit. And then on an exhale, with as straight as the back as we can muster, we're going to fold towards that left leg. And then when we get to the point where the back wants to start to round, we'll just stop there. And then you can take the arms down. Maybe they find each side of the leg. Maybe you can even grab your foot. Wherever you are, it's all good. We're just going to, I like to take each inhale to sort of come out of the posture a little bit and sort of make sure my shoulders are plugged in on the back and my upper body's nice and straight and I'm not rounding my back. And then each exhale, maybe you feel it melt a little bit more towards the leg, coming from the middle of the body, from the hip. Yeah.
If you're feeling extra flexible today and you want to take this right leg, bend the knee, and put the top of the right foot on the mat like this. I know it looks crazy. That's another way you can do it.
Your option. Listen to your body and
Be nice.
be nice to it.
And be nice to it. There you go. That's always the difference. Listen to your body and be nice to it.
How much further do we want to go?
Look to the side.
All right, so we're going to inhale. We're going to come out of this. We're going to take this right leg and open it a little bit more to the right and let the upper body turn to the right as well with the leg. This time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold towards the left leg, but this time we're doing it with the body turned to the right. So you can take
like a side bend.
it's more like a side bend. So you can take your left arm and put it underneath of or alongside of the left leg. Reach that right arm up alongside of the head. And then we're going to exhale and fold keeping that upper body twisting, opening out to the right.
So that, yes, that was good. Yes, yes, great, great. And if you chose to do that funny foot thing, and you want to try that on this side, you open the knee out to the sides, you walk yourself up a bit, you thread that left arm through and cup the right heel, and then reach. So it's a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit weirder.
And when you're ready to come out of this, we're going to come out on an inhale. So we inhale, and it's like somebody's pulling you by the arm right back up. We're going to place that right arm behind you. We'll come up onto the left foot, right knee, and sweep that left arm up the, over by our ear. Waterfall.
So it's like I'm pushing into my right hand a little bit.
Nice
here.
long stretch all down the left side of the body. And then on an exhale, we'll sit right back down.
Very nice. And let's do half Lord of the Fishes. So let's take this bent right leg, and I'm gonna put the sole of the right foot on the outside of my left knee here. So yeah, you got it. That's great. And then from here, it's up to you if you want to keep this left leg straight, or if you feel like your hips are feeling very flexible, you can lift your right hip, bend the left knee, and then sit back down. But if you do that, just make sure the right hip is still sitting down. From here, either way, it's kind of the same stretch both ways. So it's up to you how you want to have that left leg. And you want to hug that right knee in towards me with my left hand. I know it's a lot of weird lefts and rights. And I'm going to inhale my right arm up and then take it behind me. So here I am in this pretty deep twist. My right knee is kind of twisting into my body. And I'm looking out over my right shoulder behind me towards my dear neighbors and their beautiful dog, Pluto. Nice kind of tall twist here. You want to keep the spine nice and long. Very good. Very good. Beautiful. You guys are doing great. And then when you're ready, we'll untwist the other way. You can place the hands outside of the left hip and stand over for a second for a little common stretch. And from here, we'll untwist the legs, put the hands behind you, and again, just sort of flap the feet side to side, loosening up the legs, maybe bending one knee and then bending the other, and we'll do the other side. Go for it. Oh, it's so good.
So first we'll find ourselves in staff
I'm gonna turn
posture.
around
So zipping the legs together, sitting up nice and tall, feet are together and activated, and then we'll bend the left leg this time. So bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. We'll turn the upper body just slightly so it's facing over that right leg. And with a nice straight back, we'll inhale arms up overhead. Relax those shoulders down. And on an exhale, we're going to fold from the middle of the body towards that right foot. And then whenever you feel like it, you can let the hands come down. Again, I like to use each inhale to sort of straighten the back, make sure everything's plugged in and my shoulders aren't creeping up and my back's not punching. And then each exhale, maybe I can find a little bit more fold towards the leg happening from the middle of the body.
If you want to keep a little teensy bend in your right knee, that's fine.
Oh yeah. Always find to keep bends in outstretched limbs, in the elbow joints or knee joints of outstretched limbs.
Yeah, it's yoga, not ballet, so we can get all bendy about it. And of course, too, same thing as last side. If you want the option of taking the sole of the heel or the top of the left foot and resting on top of the mat.
And we're going to open up this twist a little bit, make it more of a side stretch. So we'll inhale to come out of this. We'll open the left leg a little bit more to the left, turn the body to face the left. We're going to take the right arm alongside of or underneath of the right leg. Inhale that left arm up alongside of the head, and then exhale towards, bending towards holding towards the right leg. But this time, keep the body spinning, upper body spinning open to the left side. And you can reach towards your foot. Some people can even grab the foot.
Yeah. It's like like turn to look towards the church a little bit. Like Marsha, turn your shoulders up towards the church a little. Yep. And then lift up that left arm. Yep, yep. You can put that. Yeah, that's a good place for that. And then reach that left hand towards the right foot. I know it feels crazy. It's a weird one. This is one that takes me some getting used to. One thing that I find helps, at least for the size and shape of my body, is if I put the back of my right elbow kind of on the inside of my right knee and use that for a torque. And then I put my left hand on my left shoulder and lift that open and then reach over. Sometimes it's easier too to reach back as well. Like you don't have to reach towards your foot, but kind of reach behind you. That's fine as well. And if you're doing this the other way, you'll walk forward, slide the right hand through, grab the outside of the left knee. There you go. So we'll come up out of that, come in the waterfall briefly.
Coming up, so let's come onto the left knee, onto the right foot, and onto the left hand. Sweep
So
that
now
right arm up alongside of
push-
the head.
Push down with your
Waterfall,
left
nice
hand.
stretch down the whole right side of the body, from the tip of the toes to the tip of the fingers. And then exhale, come right back down. And then we're gonna step, this time we're gonna step the left foot to the outside of the right leg, setting up for the seated twist in the other direction. So you can find this position, and if you want, you can also feel free to fold the right leg if that's comfortable for you to do so.
That's a big if. That's a big if. It's okay.
And then we're gonna twist to the left this time. So you can take that right arm and wrap it around that left leg if you want, and then take that left arm up overhead, and then bring it down behind you, sort of like a kickstand.
Looks good though.
And then turn
You
your
got
head
it.
as well to the left. So you get the maximum twist. And just a few breaths here. And then we're ready to come out of it. We're gonna exhale and come and untwist to the right. Take a little bow. Bring your hands down on the right. Take a little bow, counter twisting to the right. And then we'll come up.
This time, let's bring the soles of our feet to the mat. And we'll put the palms of the hands down behind us, fingers pointing towards the hips. I'm just gonna let my knees kind of rock side to side. Not even gonna say what I call this posture because it's rude. All right, and then let's just do one bound angle posture too. Let's do one last hip opener before we get into the choose your own adventure version. So this is a fun one because well, let's do turtle actually because this really is a fun one. So I want my feet to be fairly far from my hips. Soles are like right on each other, and it's kind of like my calves and my thighs are parallel to each other. So it's like there's a square in my legs. From here, I'm gonna lift the knees actually, and just slide the hands palm face down. Right? Yes, yes, beautiful, great. And then that's where the fun starts. So we start walking the hands further forward so the elbows come down if possible. If this is where you're at, that's great. That's turtle enough. If you want to go further, you start just coming down, folding forward. One thing I find that makes it easier for me to fold forward is to actually walk my hips back a bit. And then if it's very comfortable and easy for you, you can rest your head on the arches of your feet and hope that you washed your feet today. with soap. And if that's very easy for you, Brian can demonstrate the next step, which I'm not quite at.
What's the next step?
One step.
Oh yeah, we put your arms back this way.
Oh my God, yeah, that's.
And then if you're really good, you can grab your fingers, but I can't reach my fingers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try. But they're close.
It might not be worth it.
Best I can do is grab each cheek.
There you go. We get a little contortion-y in this class today. And then when you're ready to come out, we'll just lift the knees up and slide the arms back out. And again, let's bring the knees up, hands behind us again, and we'll just let the knees rock back and forth. I can't tempt people like this, so telling people the name of this, and I well, I call this one Mud Flap Girl, after the girl you see on mud flaps on the trucks. So there we are. Choose your own adventure inversion. Now that we've done all this stuff, I think I'll let Brian do the hard one. So if you have a headstand practice, feel free. Brian will also talk you through that. I'm going to talk us through legs up or half shoulder stand or full shoulder stand. So there are a few options here. If you don't want to do a headstand, you can just come lying down on your back here, knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground, and you can do legs up, which is literally legs up. One thing that I find makes it a little easier for me is holding behind the thighs here. And if you feel like you want to go just a little further, the next stop on the train is to lift the legs a bit and put the hands just under the back of the hip bones here. So this is half shoulder stand. So my legs are kind of hanging over my head here, and my hands are supporting my hips. I even kind of have my thumbs around the iliosacral crest, or those little knobs in the front of my hips. And so that's another option. If you want to go one step further on the train, you can lift the hips a bit more and walk the hands down the back, rolling the legs straight up for shoulder stand. So that's another option too. If you're doing shoulder stand, make sure not to turn your head to the left or the right, because you can suffer a neck injury here if you're not careful. So wherever you're at, find your comfort, and Brian will show you headstand.
Headstand, if you want to take it. Yeah, I'll turn this way, sideways. I like to measure off my elbows, so I grab each elbow, and then I can release the hands and sort of make a basket with your hands. Bring the back of your head into the back of your hands, the top of your head onto the floor, and then kind of get into this downward dog position. You can walk your feet in enough until your hips are pretty much over your head. And you can even experiment with raising one leg at a time just to sort of distribute the weight and see how that feels. Or you could try to experiment with lifting both legs and coming into this sort of egg shape. And then if you got this, the proper way to come up into a headstand from here is to straighten the bottom or the thighs first, and then straighten the bottom parts of the legs. So, but you know, whatever, however you get there, as long as you're being mindful.
If you're in shoulder stand, feel free to come into plow at this point, where we let the legs come overhead and maybe meet the ground behind us. If they do meet the ground behind us, you can take your hands off of your hips, interlace your fingers, and draw your hands down the mat away from you. But if they don't meet the ground and they're floating just above, keep your hands on your hips just for safety's sake. And then when you're ready, whether you're in shoulder stand all the way, or plow, or half shoulder stand, feel free to slowly let the hips come down, rolling the back down vertebra by vertebra, so that we're all meeting here in legs up. And if you are in legs up, feel free to slowly let the legs come down. One last little abdominal exercise for you. And then when the legs come all the way down, feel free to, again, turn the feet back and forth. Hands can go up and down again. Head can go side to side. And we'll get into a counter posture called fish. So to get into a fish, I'm going to roll my right hip up, place the palm of my right hand under my right hip, and then let my right hip rest on the top of my right hand. I'm going to roll my left hip up, do the same thing with my left hand, so that basically the back of my butt is resting on the top of my hands here. I'm going to bend my elbows, looking up, lift my head to the crown of my head, rest on the mat, and then lift through the chest for a counter posture.
And if you're coming out of headstand, I just like to hold the bottom part of the legs first, then bring the knees in, and then just slowly roll down. If you're taking the headstand option, we'll come into child's pose as our counter posture.
And if you're in fish, feel free to lift the head slowly, tuck the chin, and then roll back down onto the mat. And we'll just lay here in Shavasana. I think we beat the headstanders to the relaxation. So, yeah.
But that's okay. We're going to come out of child's pose and we'll do the same thing. We'll find ourselves on our back, setting up for our final relaxation posture of Shavasana.
Let me just see. What have we got for time? Oh, perfect. 5 minutes. That's great. All right. So if there are any other postures you'd like to take before final relaxation, feel free to take them. Otherwise, we will lie down on the mat. Feet are about match width distance. Each leg is coming right out from the hip. Arms are about 1 foot from each hip to each hand. And if you're wearing glasses and you'd like to take them off, feel free to do so. Just make sure to put them somewhere safe where you know you won't roll over on them. And from here, and just let all the beneficial effects of this practice sink in. You might not feel that beneficial when you're in the midst of it. I know there are some times where I'm like, what? My body used to do what? But in the end, yoga is cumulative. Even if you haven't done it in 6 years, it all adds up to a healthy body. When you're ready, if you're ready, you don't have to be ready yet. Feel free to wiggle the fingers and toes, bringing some life back to the body. You can roll the wrists and the ankles. And then you can draw the legs together and draw the arms together up above the head, stretching long like a pencil. And then we'll roll off to one side or the other, taking care to not smoosh your glasses if you took them off. We'll rest here for just a second. And then when you're ready, you can push down with one hand and then the other to bring yourself back up to a comfortable seat, any kind of seat you like. And we'll close the practice with 2 more rounds of Prana Mudra and an Om if you like. So inhaling the arms out wide and up. Exhaling, pushing down. One more time. Inhaling, arms out wide and up. Exhaling, pushing down. Looks great. And this last time, we'll inhale the arms out wide and up and let them come together above the head. Anjali Mudra, that's prayer posture. We'll exhale them down in front of the chest. And if you want to do an Om with us, feel free to join in. I'm going to inhale deeply.
The light in me sees and honors the light in all of you. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Namaste. Very nice. Great job, everyone.
All right.
you.
Thank you.
We
for
all
coming,
were,
Joey.
we were all rusty today. That was lovely.
And you mind walking him through the pre-fold?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to.
That was
That's all
great
he's gonna
job.
talk about on the way up.
The tree
Oh, cool. I
pose.
didn't do that.